right, on this podcast, you have your boy Mikkel.
Nova.
So, the biggest thing that we're going to talk about today on the segment is UFC 274. And that takes place tomorrow. We got the weigh-ins today. The main event, we got Gaethje versus Oliveira. Co-main, we got Rose Namajunas versus Carla Esparza. And then, of course, we got Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler, which is that's my prediction for fight of the night if the main event doesn't get. We got a veteran in Shogun returning against OSP, and then we got two legends fighting in Cerrone main card. But there's one more big fight that I want to talk about, and that's Chaos Williams versus Randy Brown.
Yep, it's gonna be a banger.
I do have Chaos Williams winning that one. He is just he's something serious.
I got Chaos Williams winning. I think he's been more patient recently, and I think with his power, he can carry that power through 3 rounds if he's more patient and doesn't gas himself out. So I think Randy Brown is dangerous, but I think Chaos Williams, with his power and his patience, will be able to catch Randy Brown. I'm thinking maybe second round TKO, but I do have Chaos Williams.
Agree with that. Chaos Williams, he's so dangerous and always getting out for a finish. In his last outing, got one of the best knockouts on that card.
Yeah, Chaos Williams and Randy Brown is going to be a banger in the prelims. It's crazy that I feel like that fight's kind of slept on because the main card so far, we got that Cerrone versus Lozon. Dana did say that the loser of this fight is gonna have to pack it up most likely. Basically, whoever loses this fight is just gonna be out of the UFC. The winner, I'm guessing, is just gonna stay for a little bit. But this fight, man, I mean, Lozon won his last fight. Cowboy recently has been looking like a lesser version of himself. So he says he's been training correctly this time, but I'm gonna have to go with Lozon. I think Cerrone's, I don't know. It's when he takes a hit, it just looks different. I don't know if he can take these kind of blows that Lozon's going to be dealing, but it's going to be a good fight, I think.
I have to agree. I'm going with Lozon for this fight. I think that Cerrone, I don't like to say that fighters ran the course of their career, but I think that Cerrone has done what he's wanted to do. He knows that as far as title fights go, he's not really there. He's kind of just fighting to fight now. There's a point when he was fighting like 4 times a year regularly and putting on performance of the night bonuses. So I have nothing against Cerrone. At this point, he's done what he's came to do, and he's had a great. So nothing bad to say about Donald Cerrone. That being said, I think Lozon is a bit more fresh at this point in their career, so I have to pick him for this one.
For sure. Definitely going to be a good fight to see the vets. There's a couple fights with the vets on it. I like these kind of fights, but yeah, I agree with that one. Shogun versus OSP is a rematch. I could have sworn Shogun retired, but he's back.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go any different.
The last time that they fought, it wasn't a very long fight at all. OSP laid Shogun on, I think, 34 seconds.
Yeah,
I think Shogun, he's always been an exciting, but he's also been in it for at least 15, almost 2 decades now. So that's a lot of wear and tear. OSP is just a little bit more fresh.
Yeah, and he's been more active recently. Win or lose, he's been more active, and I just don't see it going any different. I mean, probably last a little longer, but I do see OSP winning it via finish again. I kind of wish Shogun would have stayed retired, but I mean, it's cool to see him get some money, but I just hope he doesn't go out too bad. But I think OSP is going to win. Yeah, I think OSP is going to take it again. So next up is Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson. What do you think about Chandler lately?
fan favorite at this point. That being said, he has a tall task in Tony Ferguson. Um, Fun fact about Ferguson: um, Charles Oliveira is on an 11 with the 10 fight that he's been in. Ferguson not finished. That just kind of shows you a testament to his durability. Ferguson does not go.
Facts. He's only Justin Gaethje was the only one, and that wasn't even like a true finish. The ref just called it off because, as we could see, it was going south. But yeah, Tony Ferguson really, he didn't tap when Oliveira almost ripped his arm off. He didn't tap. He just survived. So he's very durable. I'm really curious to see where they go after this. Dana did say that the loser of this fight isn't in any danger of being cut. Tony Ferguson doesn't seem too happy about his situation in general. So, I mean, if he wins, maybe he gets some more leverage and gets closer to a title fight. If he loses, I mean, he can get a fun fight. He's Tony Ferguson. Chandler, same thing. I think if he loses, he'll get another fun fight. If he wins, he keeps saying he wants to fight the winner of Justin and Charles. I don't know how realistic that is. I mean, I know he's close to the top, but I feel like they'd maybe put him against the winner of Islam and Beneil. If Islam wins that, he might get a title fight. I don't know. But I think there's one more fight for Chandler if he does win. If Tony Ferguson wins, it's the same thing. One or two more fights.
I think he's like a bit more at the peak at this point in their careers. I think if Chandler beats Ferguson, a fight with or Beneil would be good. But Islam also has been could just make the case that he's next in line for the winner of Gaethje and Oliveira. Beneil, on the other hand, he beats Islam. And I would like to see him fight Chandler. I don't think he needs to fight Tony Ferguson again.
Nah, that was a pretty dominant win. So if they lose, same thing for Chandler and Ferguson. I think they both are safe. They'll just be in fun fights. Winning get them closer to a title. So this next fight, Rose versus Esparza, a rematch, and it's another title fight, just like the last one. This time Rose is the champ. Last time they were fighting for the championship, and last time Rose was defeated by Carla Esparza. So how do you see this one going?
This one is a bit interesting. I think this is probably the closest fight on the card, in my opinion, if not the main event. I think that stylistically, Esparza is a bad matchup for Rose, but I think Rose has got every aspect, and I think that Rose has really cemented herself as one of the greatest women's fighters of all time at this point. So I think I'm leaning a bit more towards Rose with the decision.
Okay. I think Rose is going to win. I think she's going to be piecing Esparza up on the feet. I believe that her improvements in wrestling will help her defend takedowns, but we also might even see Rose like reverse some positions and get it to the ground and get some ground and pound and maybe stand back up. I think she's going to be more capable of defending that threat. If she can keep it on the feet, I got it. Rose. If she can't, then I think Esparza can win, but I can't sleep on Rose's advancements in wrestling, so I do have Rose.
Yeah, she's just gotten so much better. She was one of the fighters I got to see live when she fought Michelle. I think I got to see a fighter like her live and see her rise to become champion.
Yeah, I saw her live too, and same thing when she recaptured the title against Zhang Weili. That's that Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal card. That was a really great card, and she's really grown from what she was before when she fought Carla Esparza. So I'm ready to see this rematch, and I do have Rose in this rematch. So for the main event, Gaethje versus Oliveira. I already know who you got in this one.
So, people that I'm a big Oliveira fan. Him winning the title last year was my favorite moments in UFC history. persevered through their career so much to get to where he has gotten. I just love Oliveira's story. That being said, I think it's arguably the toughest test in his career, because I've looked at Gaethje and I've never seen him more motivated and more scary. I think this is going to be the best Gaethje we've ever seen. And some really tools. Yeah, tools to hurt Charles really bad. Like I said, when I was watching the Poirier fight, rewatching that fight, I saw Charles Oliveira using his knees, clinch work, just mixing it up a lot. It's really all of that technical I think is going to help against Gaethje, especially since his pressure might have Gaethje moving backwards. Charles is always moving forward, even if he's getting hits. Gaethje might be moving back a lot in this fight.
Yeah, man, I think that Chandler versus Oliveira showed that Oliveira is very capable of taking a shot. He can weather, and then it doesn't break him. People keep going back to when he used to quit, but that was mostly back at featherweight. I think now he's more in a proper weight class, and he can take a shot, and he's really fast on the feet, and he can definitely knock people out, as we saw with Michael Chandler. So I think that this is going to be a close fight. I think that Justin Gaethje has the leg kicks. I think he has the power, but I also know that Charles Oliveira, his versatility and those knees to the body are like brutal. That's how he got Dustin, I feel like. But I think that in this fight, there's going to be a wild exchange in the beginning, in the middle. And I think that whoever wins that is going to probably win the first round. And then after the first round, I think that Charles could possibly get a submission in the third round, because I think that Justin is going to tire out.
Charles gets a sub the moment this becomes a situation. I don't like Gaethje's chance. I'm showing much confidence that he could handle Oliveira on the ground. That being said, he's been training with a lot to avoid ground situations and things like that. So in the Poirier fight, he doesn't need to take you down to submit you.
Yeah, you're right. I think that in the exchanges I feel like we're going to see Justin Gaethje try to immediately escape those situations because of the danger that's present.
Yeah. And that's why I see him moving back a lot in this fight, especially since Oliveira loves to use the clinch, really tight punches and elbows and things like that. He's going to make sure this is a close fight, and I don't think that Gaethje's going to like that. But I do see it here. That being said, I want to touch on one thing that you said about Oliveira, that people said that he's a quitter. The Oliveira that we saw, he's completely different now. So backing down from any in this fight with Gaethje, I think that Oliveira will be there right with him the whole time.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a really close fight. I think that the versatility from Oliveira is going to serve him well, even on the feet. I know that Justin Gaethje has the leg kicks, but I think Charles Oliveira is also going to be throwing leg kicks, and he won't be worried about being taken down if they get caught or anything. And I also know he has different kinds of kicks. He could throw a front kick, he could throw a leg kick. He has a very versatile striking style. The power I would give the Gaethje. Ultimately, I think that Charles is going to win it, but to me it's like 50.5. But I will go Charles. I can't go against him with what he's done. So I'm going Charles.
I got Charles. Who does Charles fight if he wins? And who does Gaethje fight if he loses, or vice versa?
Charles, if he wins, I believe he'll fight maybe Islam. I don't know. It depends on the Chandler versus Ferguson, but I mean, I feel like Islam might get a title fight, but if not, maybe the winner of Islam or whoever wins Islam versus Neal fights the winner of Chandler versus Ferguson, but it's one of those people. I think it's gonna be Islam or Beneil. So I think it's one of those people that he fights, and if he loses, then he could fight anybody. The loser of Beneil versus Islam. Maybe loser of Chandler versus Ferguson again. Who knows? But Justin Gaethje, if he loses, he could fight. I don't know, honestly, because the way, like, this is the second time at trying to get a title shot. So if he loses this time, we might see him versus Dustin again. It's a lot of options for Justin. So if Charles Oliveira beats Gaethje tomorrow, looks like he'll be tied with Khabib for the record of the most title defenses in lightweight history. What do you think about that?
Might be just as good as Khabib's, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if he beats Gaethje, he'll definitely solidify himself as a legend in the lightweight division, because he's gonna tie Khabib's record in just this short amount of time. And if he beats Gaethje, honestly, I don't know who's gonna beat him for a while. I mean, Islam's there, but I feel like Islam, with Oliveira's submission game and his striking, is pretty underrated. I think that he poses a lot of problems for Islam. I honestly feel like Justin Gaethje is probably the biggest threat right now. If not him, then maybe Islam. But yeah, I think he's gonna go on a run if he beats Justin Gaethje here.
For the couple more things we want to touch on, we got another big. We have Jan Blachowicz versus Alexander Rakic, and then we have versus Kettle. So, winning those.
Jan versus Rakic. I got Jan. I think Rakic is good, but I don't know. He just seems he seems really patient to a fault sometimes. Against his last fight, I think against Thiago. That's the fight that comes to mind. He was really patient. But Holm versus Vieira, that's gonna be a good fight. I'm gonna go with Holly Holm. If anything, is because I like Holly Holm. I think those are gonna be two good fights, and I hope the card is lit as well.
I agree. All right, so that's gonna wrap up our MMA segment. We're gonna do a cutaway and start up on our music segment. So we'll be back.